Stampeders feeling upset. Calgary looks to bounce back from last week's loss to Hamilton and looks to the league's #1 quarterback, who looks to the league's top receiver, Alan Pitts. The upset suited the Shreveport Pirates just fine. They shocked Sacramento thanks to their combination of Mike Johnson to David Lucas. Shreveport faces long odds again as it faces Calgary on the CFL Live. Next. The topsy-turvy week began Saturday with Sacramento visiting Shreveport. The Miners had playoff hopes, but ran into a deluge in the Bayou. When it was over, the Pirates had ended their streak of 14 consecutive losses, upsetting Sacramento to earn the franchise's first ever victory.
Win was basically our whole season. You know, that one win got us over the hump, and we're going to build on that one win and go on for the rest of the season and try to finish this thing out.
On Sunday, the Stampeders met the Ticats. Someone forgot to tell the Tabbies they were 21-point underdogs. It was a subpar day for Doug Flutie and company. An inspired afternoon for Reggie Slack and Earl Winfield as the Ticats pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the season.
Well, I think the thing we want to do is put the loss behind us, go out and play tough football, play skilled football, and go out and make big plays.
Tonight from Calgary, it's the team delighted it has one win against the team upset it only has 12. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Calgary, where a cold October wind is blowing, but it's not as chilly as the relationship between Wally Buono and the local media. After Calgary's loss last week to Hamilton, local reporters suggested that the Stamps have been lethargic lately and perhaps needed a wake-up call. Well, the Stampeder coach didn't like that one bit and lashed back, saying the local reporters don't know anything about football. The Stamps are 12-3. Contrast that with the Shreveport Pirates, who at 1-14 almost had a parade thrown for them last week when they scored the franchise's first ever victory. Strange doings indeed, and to talk more about it, here are John Wells and Leif Pedersen.
All right, Gord, I think Wally Buono's being just a little bit sensitive. After all, his Calgary Stampeders haven't played well since they lost to the Edmonton Eskimos, or at least I should say, haven't played as well as they did prior to Labor Day, and no wonder the media is getting a little bit angry at Calgary.
I'm going to tell you why he's sensitive, because Wally Buono is the master at deflecting all criticism his way and away from his team. He's extremely good at it, but, you know, I think the people in Calgary have to take a look at the bigger picture here. Here's a team that won a Grey Cup in 1992. They were 15-3 last year and currently 12-3. The big picture is teams like Hamilton, Shreveport, the bottom teams, they're getting better players and they are playing better football in September and October. Calgary, they've been at a high level all year, and the games at this time of the year are a lot tougher than they were in July and August. You won't see those 50 and 60-point nights anymore because the bottom teams are getting better. Hey, Calgary's had injuries. Flutie's not 100%. Sapunjis is out. Offensive linemen are playing out of position. To criticize these guys, it's brutal.
You're on Wally's team.
Well, I think it's unfair. This is a great team.
All right, as far as the Shreveport Pirates are concerned, they think they might have finally found a quarterback. They've looked at a bunch, but they think Michael Johnson might be the guy to lead them out of the wilderness.
John, they've looked at 9 quarterbacks, if you can believe it, all year, but I think they found a really good one in Mike Johnson. You and I saw him in 1992 in a game right here in Calgary when he was playing for the BC Lions. It was 34-3 at halftime. All he did was come in and throw 3 touchdown passes in the second half. He's kicked around a few teams, but he's in the starting lineup tonight, and they think they finally found the quarterback that can be a leader on this team.
Well, Mike and the Pirates better do the chin straps up, because I think the Stampeders are coming out after them in this one. They want to put a lot of points on the board. Gord?
That's right, John, and as they do, some interesting questions are raised. Ballots go out this week for individual awards in the CFL. Voters in Calgary have to choose an MVP between Doug Flutie and Alan Pitts. Pitts could break Terry Greer's record for receiving yards in a season. Flutie could break his own record for touchdowns passing in a season. Whoever the voters pick, chances are they are picking the CFL's MVP for 94. Guys?
Pirates look to make it 2 in a row. The odds are a little long at McMahon tonight. Leif, what do you say the difference is going to be this night?
Well, John, I think you have to take a direct look look at Shreveport's offense, and so far this year, they've only averaged 17.7 points a game, and, that's not enough to beat a team like the Calgary Stampeders. So, I really feel they need at least 25, probably more than 30 points tonight to be in this game. So if their offense can function, score some points, they got a shot.
We're ready to get underway at McMahon Stadium with the Shreveport Pirates in town. Bjorn Nittmo will kick it off for the Pirates. And this is Brian Wiggins, ready to return for the Calgary Stampeders. Has room. Opening up on the far side, and Wiggins is still going. Out across the 50-yard line, and at midfield, still on his feet. What a run by Brian Wiggins, who is down inside the 25-yard line and finally brought down by Evers. It was something to see, and what a great way for the Stampeders to begin with a 79-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, John, early in the year, the Stampeders were getting tremendous production on their return teams. Doug Flutie and his offense was always on a short field, and, since Labor Day, it hasn't been that way. But tonight, they start off tremendously with an unbelievable effort by Brian Wiggins. I mean, he just keeps those legs churning and going, and, this is what you want to do to a 1-14 kind of team. You want to get out and bury them early, and with this kind of field position, pretty easy for Wiggins and Flutie to start their offense.
Short field. They don't get much shorter than this. Stampeders are set up at the 20-yard line. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Speedy Autoglass. Don't take a chance. Take your Autoglass repairs to Speedy. And Doug Flutie will start at quarterback despite a bothersome ankle. He has tossed for 38 touchdowns so far this season and been intercepted 18 times. It is hard to believe that this guy is not the MVP in Canadian football.
Well, he's got a good shot. The 38 TDs, tops in the league. The 340 completions is tops in the league. He leads in a number of categories.
Looks like the kicker, Bjorn Nittmo, is the injured Shreveport Pirate. Got involved trying to make a tackle on the great return by Brian Wiggins. And let's see if we can see what happened to the kicker. They're not called upon to make too many tackles, but he doesn't make the tackle. He just sort of fell.
Well, I'll give him some credit. What he did was take the outside shoulder of Brian Wiggins, so he had to come back inside, where Bjorn assumed that he would get some help from his teammates. So for a kicker, that's not a bad defensive play.
Stampeders will be 1st and 10 at the Shreveport 20-yard line. Doug Flutie hitting on 61% of his passes so far in 1994. He begins from the shotgun with 3 receivers to the far side. Flutie goes over there and under the cover. Intended that for Wiggins, number 80. In the backfield with Flutie, Tony Stewart, and Sean Daniels tonight. The outside receivers are Brian Wiggins and Pee Wee Smith, and inside it's Alan Pitts and Will Moore. Great core.
And as I mentioned in the opening, John, changes on the offensive line. Rocco Romano moves from left guard over to right tackle in place of Ken Moore. And then, of course, Jamie Crysdale in at left guard. So, hey, it hasn't been all easy for the Stampeders offense. Changes on that offensive line every week.
Romano's had a great year. He's played 3 positions on the offensive line. Might be the best offensive lineman in Calgary. On 2nd and 10, Flutie goes for the home run toss, and he's got it. Will Moore makes the catch, and the Stampeders have a 20-yard touchdown. They score on their 2nd play from scrimmage, and already the Pirates are in trouble.
It's a 20-yard scoring pass from Doug Flutie to number 82, Will.
Well, it sure didn't take long for Doug Flutie, and the key is time. He's able to step up into the pocket. Will Moore on course. Irvin, of course, with the Ticats previously this year, and Will Moore does such a good job at slowing down Irvin with his body and then reacting to the football at the last possible second. That's a heck of a catch.
9th touchdown reception of the season for Will Moore, and the Stampeders are out in front 7-0. Wiggins set them up at the 20-yard line, and then Flutie went to Will Moore for a 20-yard touchdown toss. Pretty good reaction, John, here. Watch it now. You can hurt yourself that way. You got to get the ball bouncing in the right direction.
A little careful there. But, you know, when you play, as I said, you play a 1-14 team. What you want to do is get them out of the game as early as you can. And, you know, great kickoff return by Brian Wiggins, incompleted pass, and then touchdown pass to Will Moore. 9th touchdown of the year, only his 33rd catch. I mean, you talk about catches to touchdown ratio. That's pretty awesome.
39th touchdown pass of the season by Doug Flutie. And a 2-play drive ends the Stampeders up in the Shreveport end zone. Moore on the receiving end.
Mark McLaughlin on the Calgary kickoff.
2 deep for the Shreveport Pirates. This is Benjamin ready to return. He starts out at the 20. And he's caught from behind by Pee Wee Smith at the 32-yard line. Mike Johnson making his 3rd start, 2nd straight for the Shreveport Pirates. As a passer, he's been good on 41%. Touchdown to interception ratio is not quite there yet, but he did get the win, the first for the Pirates last week.
Yeah, a little background on Mike Johnson. 92, he was with the BC Lions. In 93, they signed Danny McManus, so he became expendable. Played a little arena football, and then, of course, ended up with Shreveport.
On first down, a one-hopper intended for David Lucas. In the backfield, it'll be Ryan Benjamin, and Butch had not to run the football for the Pirates tonight. Outside receivers are Wayne Walker and David Lucas, and inside it's Charles Thompson, who's been around much of the year, along with Tony Moss.
That's a big offensive line, as you might expect, all imports, and you know, they haven't done a bad job. 42 sacks against, 10th in the league, as you might expect. They're pretty young up front.
This will be 2nd and 10 for the Pirates. Johnson from the shotgun looks to the far side and missed the intended receiver. That's Tony Moss, number 81. So 2 and outs for the Pirates. The Stampeders already in front, 7-0, very early in the opening quarter at McMahon.
Yeah, and the worst thing you want to have happen to a struggling team is, of course, to have your opposition score a touchdown, as Calgary did, and then to come quickly in and have a quick 2 and out. I mean, you just don't get your team into the rhythm. All of a sudden, the defense has to come right back out in the field, and pretty tough start for Shreveport.
Aaron Canner standing back at his 18-yard line. And this one bounces. Wiggins waits to claim it at the 40-yard line, and a penalty marker is down. Wiggins up and over the bench after a 7-yard return, forced out by Anthony Shelton. Anthony Shelton was in the area. 37-yard punts. And no yards against the Pirates is the indication from the referee, Dave Ewell. Stampeders have a solid defense, ready to go to work.
Shreveport, the 5-yard penalty is declined. First down.
First and 10, Stampeders at their own 48.
Stampeders 1st and 10, beginning at the 48. Flutie has time, and Pitts has his first catch of the night. Defense for the Pirates, Ray Savage, Ben Williams, and Reggie Rogers, who's helped out a great deal since coming over, along with Alex Mash along the front 4. The linebacking core has a couple of pairings, Ron and Mario, with Greg Stuman in the middle.
And Steve Dennis is the offensive coordinator, pretty conservative coach. This is a secondary that likes to play a lot of man-to-man coverage with what they call a safety free. It's kind of a cover 1 technically, and that middle safety, Anthony Shelton, just roams the middle, deep center fielder.
And already 6 defensive backs into the game for the Pirates. As Stewart takes the handoff on 2nd and a couple. We'll see where they spot the ball. Tony Stewart has 2 yards.
Reggie Rogers
in on the tackle. Number 77, Rogers with 1 sack. Former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Flutie comes up that short. .11:50 to go in the opening quarter with the Stampeders in front 7-0. Calgary with a record of 12-3 on the season, needing 2 wins to clinch top spot in the CFL West.
One of the things that Shreveport has done early in this first quarter is gone with 6 defensive backs exclusive. Of course, Irvin, 14, is in the game. He was beaten for the touchdown by Will Moore, but obviously that is their strategy. A lot of teams sure use that. I mean, a lot of teams have been playing 6 and 7 defensive backs against Doug Flutie this year, but obviously this is Shreveport's design, is to sacrifice a little run support to get that extra defensive back in there.
This is third and inches, less than a yard to go for the Stampeders at the Pirates' 52-yard line. And Flutie himself tried around the right side and found a couple of yards. Mario Perry, number 36, made the stop on Flutie. Doesn't appear to be too hampered by that ankle injury tonight.
No, it's a sprain in the arch of his foot, and he said the only thing that really hurts him is his burst upfield. I mean, laterally he doesn't have any pain, but when he really has to burst and accelerate upfield, that's the only time that he still feels a bit of a twinge.
Stampeders with a 7-0 lead, or 1st and 10 at the 49. This is Tony Stewart, cut from behind by Reggie Rogers, and the ball came loose. It looks like the Pirates are celebrating down there. Rogers set up the play by getting to Stewart. And the Pirates have the first turnover of the game. Number 64, Ben Williams, is in the middle down there. Does he come up with the ball?
Well, what a break for the Shreveport Pirates to get this turnover early. You see Reggie Rogers slide through and strip the ball loose, and I believe it was 64, Ben Williams, with the recovery, but a heads-up play by Reggie Rogers to, as he's making the tackle, he's thinking strip the football, and Shreveport gets a nice break with the turnover.
Pirates beginning at the 45, second offensive sequence. And this is Ryan Benjamin. Benjamin up near the 50, close to 5 yards. Stopped by Alondra Johnson, with Will Johnson up front. Stu Laird having a super season. Shreko Zizakovic and Kenny Walker. A solid defensive line to run against or pass against. And Alondra Johnson, Marvin Pope in the middle, and Matt Finley, a great linebacking group too.
Yeah, and a very solid secondary, and a guy who, to my opinion, is having an all-star year is the guy in the middle, Greg Knox. I like to call him Fort Knox. I mean, he's that strong back there.
Not much gets by. They call it a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Johnson to his left and back. That one was deflected high. I think Charles Thompson was the intended receiver, number 6. So another 2 and out for Mike Johnson and the Shreveport Pirates.
And I think what Mike Johnson better figure out in a hurry is that against the Calgary Stampeders, the best way to pick up a couple of early first downs is to go underneath the coverage, start using his backs. Heck, Ryan Benjamin, number 2, is a heck of a good running back out of the backfield. And I think when Michael has a chat with Cotton Davidson, who's their offensive coordinator, Forrest Gregg, on the sidelines, they're going to say, hey, start going to some quick stuffs to try and get some momentum.
Canner's kick coming down to Wiggins. He's across the 10. And out near the 18-yard line. Perry makes the tack. It'll be 1st and 10 Stampeders when we return to CFL Live from Calgary.
Forrest Gregg knows all about cold weather. The coldest game in NFL history was the 1967 NFL Championship game. He was a player for the Green Bay Packers. The second coldest was a game between Cincinnati and San Diego. He coached the Cincinnati Bengals. One of the equipment guys down here offered him one of those big, heavy winter coats. He turned around with that frosty look and said, hell, this ain't cold. So if players are going to complain about the cold weather here in Calgary, their coach doesn't want to hear about it.
Yeah, this is not cold if you've been to Green Bay in January and played a little football. Stampeders first down. Here's Doug Flutie flaring it out of the backfield, and Sean Daniels can't come up with that one. Daniels getting his first start with the Stampeders since coming over from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Forrest Gregg with a record in Canadian football this time around of, or at total, 6 and 25. Wally Buono, 62, 24-1. That percentage is absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, and you should criticize him for that. I mean, that's good. Yeah, oh, criticize. Well, 62 wins. That's not bad. I'm going to tell you a story about Forrest Gregg that I'm sure the people in Canada haven't heard before in a couple of minutes.
Stampeders have won 28 games in the last 2 seasons. Flutie on 2nd and 10, almost picked up. It was almost grabbed there by Antoine Worthman, number 25. He was definitely the closest football player to the ball on that toss by Flutie. One that got away, so the Stampeders 2 and out. send in the kicking team.
And that's a solid defensive series for Shreveport. Now, you know, you get the ball back, pretty good field position. You've kind of stopped the bleeding after that initial touchdown. Worthman should have had the pick there, but nevertheless, a nice 2-and-out situation for Shreveport.
Martino standing at his 5-yard line, almost got that one blocked. It is not a deep kick. Lucas ready to return. And number 82 is surrounded by red jerseys right there. A 1-yard return after a 40-yard punt. Dimitrition leading the Stampeder tacklers. Roger Reinson also in the area. 8:52 to go in the opening quarter. And the Pirates looking for their first down. Tough to get when you're working against a linebacker like Marvin Pope.
Well, I think what impresses me is the 53 sacks. You know, last year they had 47 all season long. They got 3 games to go, and Marvin Pokes had 7 of those sacks. The year before he only had 1, so, I mean, he really has elevated his game.
Johnson had his man, and Walker dropped the ball. Nothing wrong with the pass. The receiver, error on that one.
And that's the favorite pass play in the Shreveport offense, is to have that little short roll and run the wide receivers on hooks. That time Walker ran a perfect pattern on Junior Thurman. Only one problem. Couldn't hang on. He's got great speed. This guy, you know, he'll lull you to sleep. That's what defensive coaches around the league say. Hey, they'll run 2 or 3 plays. You kind of just la-di-da out there. All of a sudden, this guy is in behind you before you know it.
Played with the Ottawa Rough Riders for a time. 2nd and 10. Here comes the charge. Ball. Alondra Johnson was through, and an opportunity for one of the Zizakovics down there. Actually, Wayne Walker, number 99, and was hanging up in the air, and Walker might have had a loose ball there.
Well, when you split your backs out and have nobody left in the backfield, I mean, you're telling the defense in a hurry that you're going hot patterns, and if you do that as a quarterback, you better get rid of it a lot sooner than Mike Johnson did, or he's going to have those guys in his face all night long. I mean, you tell the defense before the ball is snapped what you're doing, and with no extra protection, you're in huge trouble if you don't let that ball fly in a hurry.
Aaron Kenner averaging well so far tonight. Wiggins drops it inside the 10, and there's nowhere to go after he recovers.
Brian Wiggins, number 80.
Osborne leading the Pirate tackler. The 2-yard return, 47-yard kick. Stampeders scored on their first possession. Nothing since. It's still 7-0 Calgary. Alondra Johnson leads the Stampeders in tackles so far this season with 63. It's a tough choice for Defensive Player of the Year in Calgary.
Well, what happens is they're overmatched on the right side there. There's nobody to take Johnson on the outside. All the backs are gone. So, hey, as a quarterback, you better let it fly, as I said earlier, because there's just not enough guys to pick up the blitz. You know, that's an inexperienced team. I mean, this guy, hey, you know, he's 4th all-time in this, 3rd all-time in the CFL in tackles. Another good year leading the team with 63.
Hey, home field advantage.
It has been a home field advantage. The Stampeders don't lose here very often. Established a CFL record for consecutive home court wins. Flutie, good fake. And Flutie heads out of bounds after claiming the first down out near the 22-yard line. 11 yards for Flutie. 7:33 to go in the opening quarter.
Greg Stewman, number 95, in pursuit for the Pirates.
Thinking run all the way.
Good, yeah, naked bootleg. Good call by Flutie. Play action. You freeze the linebackers, and then you get to the outside. Now, he's got a great option of either throwing or running, but, I mean, there was so much open space. He said, heck, even with the bad foot, I can still pick up an easy 10, get a nice first down, move us out of dangerous territory.
Out near the 22-yard line now. 1st and 10, Stampeders. This is Tony Stewart, and he's across the 25. Savage made the tackle. Stewart has another 6 yards, closing in on 1,000 yards. First Stampeder to do so, quite likely. He is moving in there, first since 1986. 971 yards. He should be over 1,000 by the time this one's over.
Yeah, it sure makes a decision at the beginning of the year to release Keevan Jenkins and give Tony Stewart the job. Looked like a great decision. Now, I mean, you know, this team, They've run the ball so much better this year than they have in 1993.
On 2nd and 4, Flutie takes off again, this time looking to throw on the run, and came up a little bit short for Alan Pitts on the far side.
Is incomplete to bring up 3rd down and 5.
No, you look at this offense of Doug Flutie's, and how are they different in '94 than they were a year ago in 1993? Well, they don't throw the ball for as many yards a game. They're about 20 yards a game under what they did last year through the air. But you know what? They run the ball so much better. They average almost 120 yards a game on the ground, and last year only 79. So, hey, when you give up a little bit of your passing to get that much more rushing, you become a better balanced team, and you become a better team when the cold weather comes.
Smith, that's Terry Smith, number 88, looking for room to the far side, and he's got some. Not near the 50-yard line. Solid field position for the Pirates when we return. Leading the tacklers, number 36, Blair Zur. It is still the Stampeders leading by a touchdown on CFL Live from Calgary. Here's just part of the Wally Buono log in Canadian football. A winning percentage of 71.3. He's the Stampeder all-time wins leader. Won the Grey Cup in '92 as a player. 10 years in Montreal. A couple of Grey Cups there. 1st and 10 for the Pirates, and this is Benjamin out across the 45-yard line. Alondra Johnson made the tackle there. 5-yard gain. Buono in his 5th year as head coach in Calgary.
1st down, 2nd down and 5.
Seven 0 Stampeders. Calgary scored in the opening drive. Michael Johnson stands in, looks for his first completion, and can't get it. Tony Moss was the intended receiver, number 81.
And John, this is tough on a young quarterback that's searching for team identity like a Mike Johnson. Walker's dropped one, and perfect throw. Now a perfect throw into Tony Moss. Good protection. Johnson was patient enough to let the pattern develop, and well, that's a ball that has to be caught. And you know, you look at Shreveport, what the difference might be tonight. We said they have to score more than their 17.7 point average, and hey, you just can't do it if you're not functioning like this.
Aaron Canner standing back at his 50-yard line.
Let it go.
Good kick, and this one will likely go for a single point. Rolling through the end zone as the Pirates get on the board on a 65-yard single by Aaron Canner. Make it 7-1, 5:17 to go in the opening quarter. Stampeders offensively are having another wonderful season. Hard to top the season that Alan Pitts is in the midst of. 104 receptions coming into this game, 1,727 yards, 16 touchdowns.
You know what I like about Pitts, John, in his career, and those are some of the most impressive things that he's done, but I like that 31 100-yard games. I mean, here's a guy that just in 4 years, and remember, he missed a lot of last year. That is production.
Here's Tony Stewart, who has produced well for the Stampeders.
Number 21, Tony Stewart with the carry.
Stopped by Reggie Rogers, who's made an impact since arriving in Shreveport. Stewart averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Just 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, and the knock on him last year was that he put the ball on the ground a few too many times. This year, he has cured that problem. I think he's taking the ball to bed with him every night because he is not coughing it up, and that's what they were worried about. Yeah, but over the season, he's been solid.
Only turnover of the game at 2nd and 8 Stampeders. From the 37, early movements, and that play is whistled down.
Flag is down.
Penalty going against the Pirates. Winners last week 24-12 over Sacramento, and that really hurt the Gold Miners' playoff chances.
Shreveport, number 96, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And these are the little things that really kill you. I mean, all of a sudden, you've got a team like Calgary, who's a great first down production team. You got them 2nd and long. Now it's 2nd and 3. So for Forrest Gregg's team, I mean, hey, you've dealt yourself a tough hand here.
Now 2nd and 3 at the 42. Flutie, little play action fake, and Wilmore makes the catch and up for the first down, far side. Irvin forced him out, number 14, and the gain is 13 yards.
Doug Flutie is going to the play action and faking as well as I've seen him all season long. Maybe it's good to have a bad foot every once in a while. You're not that quick out of there as you normally might be, because his play fakes have really been freezing that linebacking core of Shreveport, and consequently his receivers have been wide open.
Stampeders are set up right on midfield at the 55-yard line with another Calgary first down. And this is Daniels. Sean Daniels is close to 10 yards. He's out to the 45 of the Pirates.
I think this guy's a load, 5'11", 237 pounds. Now, he's been in a few places this year. Began the year with Ottawa, was traded to Saskatchewan, and now brought into Calgary as insurance for their starting fullback, Blair Zier, and now he's getting a chance to start tonight, and he is a load when he gets rumbling.
Picked up 9 and a bit on that carry. Less than a yard to go for a first down for the Stampeders, trying to get across the 45. Stewart gets the call and gets the first down. Ran into 4 Pirates there.
Stacked up just inside the 45-yard line.
Ben Williams was the first to catch up with a Stampeder runner, number 64.
Well, what you want get against a Doug Flutie, even if it's on a running play, is that good push up the middle from your 2 tackles. There you see Ben Williams, 64, Reggie Rogers, 77. The other tackle makes the play, but unless you get that good push upfield from your 2 tackles and not allow Flutie to step up in that pocket, you're going to have a long night.
This is the Stampeders' longest drive of the evening, 1st and 10 at the 44. Flutie, good fake again. He has Stewart coming out of the backfield, and Stewart zeroes in on a first down. Mario Perry, number 36, forcing him out.
Pushed out of bounds by Mario Perry.
What a year Stewart is having, 18 touchdowns, 13 rushing and 5 receiving.
Well, that's the added dimension he gives them, is that ability out of the backfield. I mean, you get the double whammy there. Not only is he going to have 1,000 yards, which you haven't had since 1986, you got a guy that is so dependable catching the football.
He's going to have over 600 yards receiving as well. Stampeders have 6 first downs. The Pirates don't have any. And Flutie looks to grab another one here, and Stewart turned.
I jinxed him.
Yeah, he was running before he made the catch.
Incomplete, second down.
I jinxed him.
2nd and 10 now. Flutie had a play call. It was the right one.
Well, good look at Ben Williams. We talked about that push up the middle. He got it, flushed Flutie out. I mean, that's what you want. That's when you have to hope that your end has got good leverage on the outside. And obviously, they didn't. Flutie should have been able to complete the pass to Tony Stewart. But, boy, Ben Williams, that's a heck of an effort. And remember now, this is a patchwork offensive line, so Shreveport might get some opportunities at Flutie tonight.
7th play of this drive, and it is 2nd and 10 as Flutie stands in. Had a man wide open and overthrew the target. Will Moore, number 82, was in behind the cover, and Flutie couldn't connect.
Pretty unusual for Doug Flutie. I mean, this was a freebie. He had Will Moore wide open here. A little wobble on that one, but Will Moore had worked inside. Antoine Worthman was wide open. Doug Flutie just not able to connect.
Closer to an interception than a reception.
You see, though, that look up the middle once again. It's a defensive tackle. Reggie Rogers put the hit on Flutie. He doesn't get hit too often, and I have to think that back foot is slowing him down just enough that Shreveport's going to get some decent opportunities on him tonight.
Here's Mark McLaughlin hitting on 86.5% of his field goals in another banner season, heading toward the 200-point plateau once more. This from 40 yards away, and that one is wide.
Well, it's a good thing the center didn't stand up straight after he snapped it.
A little bit of a knuckleball there, so the Stampeders missed their first field goal attempt of the night. It's now an 8-1 ball game. Calgary leading by 7. Tough night for the kickers. McLaughlin has missed, and Bjorn Netmo shaken up, making a tackle. Netmo got on 67.6%, while McLaughlin is hitting on 86.5.
Yeah, you talk about guys that have raised their level. McLaughlin was 78%. To move up to 86, that's quite an accomplishment.
Ryan Benjamin tries to turn the corner on first down. He does for a couple. Shreko Zizakovic, number 96, in on the tackle for the Stampeders.
You know, John, I was going to tell you that story about Forrest Gregg a few moments ago. People really, I bet you not many people know that he was originally drafted by the Calgary Stampeders in 1956. They actually offered him more money to come up and play here than the Green Bay Packers did, but he chose to go to the NFL where everybody knew him, and the story is history after that.
Yeah, took a little trip to the NFL Hall of Fame as a result of that, even though he turned down a little money, or a little more money from the Stampeders. Far side, and Walker was the intended receiver. Mike Johnson off target again. He is 0 for 7 so far. Not all Johnson's fault. He's had a couple of passes dropped already tonight.
Well, it's tough too, excuse me, offensively, because you know they've had pretty solid field position with which to work, and you know Mike Johnson just can't catch a break right now.
Canner's having a nice night, averaging 50 yards, has one single, a 65-yarder. This one is blocked. Jump ball. Owens getting through to block that punt, but there's a marker down. Let's see what the infraction is down there.
Number 14, Dondre Owens, got his hand on it.
Dondre Owens, number 14, coming through to block the punt by Aaron Canner.
Well, Calgary notorious for great special teams work. Stop it right there. Here's Dondre Owens. He's the nickel back in the lineup tonight. Boom, right there. And what you try and do is aim it to the point where you think the ball will leave the kicker's foot. He does it perfectly, catches a piece of it. Now there's a big discussion going on, but nevertheless, hey, that's pretty shoddy protection by the Shreveport Pirates to allow Owens to come in untouched like that.
Seemed to have a bit of a free ride, and he timed it perfectly, as you did say.
And what you do, John, is you don't go for the foot of the kicker. You have to pick a spot about 2 yards out in front of him, because that's where the ball flight's going to be. And Dondre Owens did a nice job of that. Hey, Bob Vespasiani said, can't do it any better than that, Dondre.
Yards were not gained. First down, Calgary.
Penalty is against the Stampeders after the block punt for holding. So Calgary will get possession of the football. And that's a turnover each way. Stampeders doubling the Pirates in time of possession. 13 seconds to go in the opening quarter, with Calgary leading at 8-1. And the Stampeders have it back, 1st and 10 at the 52. Wiggins makes the catch, and he's across the 40 and down to about the 38-yard line.
About 8 yards on the game.
Ben Williams made the tackle. It's a 9-yard gain. Quick little hitch pass by Doug Flutie. So the Stampeders will try and make it a first down when we return to McMahon Stadium. It's CFL Live. Stampeders lead it by a touchdown. Welcome back to McMahon in Calgary, where the Pirates are hanging in against the Stampeders. Calgary scored on the Stampeders' opening possession, a 20-yard touchdown, and since then a couple of single points, so it's a 7-point game. Stampeders are 2nd and 1 at the 39-yard line of the Pirates.
John, I think Shreveport should be thrilled that they're only down by 7 points. That's a pretty miserable quarter offensively for them, and heck, you know, if you can't generate any offense against Calgary, you just don't have a chance.
You're lucky to be down by 7 points at this stage of things. Johnson hasn't completed a pass yet.
Second quarter begins. The Calgary Stampeders are 2nd and 2 at the Pirates 39.
Doug Flutie with 3 receivers to each side. And he swings it out. That'll be enough for the first down as Pee Wee Smith takes off. Smith inside the 30-yard line. There's a marker down. 6 first downs for the Stampeders. 99 net yards, just 12 yards net for the Shreveport Pirates, and the time of possession a big part of the story, with turnovers even at 1.
Well, I think that really supports what we're saying. I mean, to be down by 7 with those kind of numbers, if you just tuned in and we just showed you those numbers, you'd say, hey, it's 17-0 for Calgary, but it's only 8-1, so that's not so bad.
There was an illegal block in the previous play after the first down was made, so the Stampeders get the first down. The ball is marched back to the 42. 1st and 10, Calgary. This is Tony Stewart, and Stewart breaks one tackle. He has another Stampeder first down. Joe Fuller made the tackle.
Pretty solid run blocking. Here's Jamie Crysdale. They get the double team on the nose. Tony Stewart hits it up there and then breaks it to the outside. Nice cut by Stewart. You know, the key is give him that ball deep enough that he can see how the blocking develops up front. They get the double in. Although Rogers fights it off pretty well, Tony Stewart's just a little too quick for him through that hole.
11 yards for Stewart. He is 3 short of 1,000 on the season now. This could be it. No, maybe only 2 yards on that carry. Tony Stewart hits the call again and stopped by Ben Williams. Number 64 has been busy for the Pirates. He's been there all season long, and not many Shreveport Pirates can say that they've been around this football team all season. Over 100 players have gone through the Shreveport Pirate roster since the season began. That's not counting training camp.
John, you and I did their opening game in Ottawa, and I had their fact book. I mean, I took a look at it before I came out to Calgary this week, and there was nobody in there that I recognized. So it has been a huge transformation of players in this lineup.
And currently there are 18 players on the Pirates injury list. So it has not only been a change of personnel to get better, but many changes have been made out of necessity.
Well, the problem for them was, I mean, they had to wait for NFL cuts, obviously, to get better personnel. And, you know, that didn't happen until September. So you're talking July and August and part of September where you really had no players available to you to try and upgrade. So for their coaching staff, I mean, that compounded all their problems.
Let's bring in Gord Miller.
Thanks very much, John. With Joe Nieuwendyk of the still idle Calgary Flames, how are you handling this lockout?
Well, it's been difficult, but making the best of it coming to Stamps games.
Staying in shape?
Trying to. I've had a back problem all through training camp, so it's in some ways I think I'm starting to catch up to the rest of the guys.
Robert Reichel left for Germany today. We see other guys going away. You thinking of playing hockey somewhere?
Not really. Maybe just trying to get back on my skates first of all, and then see where that takes me.
All right, you're always welcome to come play with the TSN team, Joe. Thanks.
Thanks, Gordon.
Injured players being helped to the sidelines on the far side of the field. Mario Perry. 2nd and 6. Stampeders at the 23. Flutie shotgun. Looks for Pitts, and he comes down with a touchdown. Alan Pitts got in behind Joe Fuller. There is a penalty marker back at the 20-yard line. Alan Pitts has his 17th touchdown of the season. And obviously you can hear this one will count. Alan Pitts.
Well, what Alan Pitts does as well as any receiver that I've ever seen is use his big body. Now, he's 6'3" and over 200 pounds, and use that body to shield off defenders when the ball is not perfectly thrown. And, you know, like Fuller had a pretty good chance to get to that ball. He just couldn't get around Alan Pitts.
And Mark McLaughlin makes it 15-1 for the Stampeders, leading the Shreveport Pirates. A couple of touchdown tosses by Doug Flutie. Alan Pitts, his 17th TD reception of the season. This is CFL Live.
Hi, welcome to Subway.
Subway isn't like those fancy New York steakhouses. No stuffy maitre d' or jackets required.
Great vest. Thanks.
But we do have A1 steak sauce. It's on Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Slices of tender, juicy, seasoned steak topped with the great taste of A1, plus all the fresh fixins you like. And at Subway, you don't get a big bill. You get change. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Appetites are required. Jackets aren't.
Alan Pitts only in his 4th CFL season. He's going to rewrite a lot of records in this league. 5 plays to cover 48 yards and the 23-yard toss from Flutie to Pitts.
Yeah, with that 17th touchdown, he's only a couple, 3 behind Darrell K. Smith's record. Here's Pitts at the top, and watch as he comes down. The hard move into the post, and then back to the corner, and you'll see he gets Fuller turned around. But watch at the end of the play, and it really goes back to what I said earlier, how he uses his body to make this catch. Hey, Clooney does a good job to throw it to the outside, but watch now, the body shields off Fuller, the hands go out. There's no way Fuller can scrape through it and make the play. I mean, that's why Pitts is so tough. I mean, balls that maybe shouldn't be caught, he always makes the routine catch.
Peace out here in Calgary.
Well, you talk about a great year. I mean, you project him out, he's going to set all kinds of records. And boy, you know, 118 was the old record for catches. He holds it. He should be up around 125 as we project out at the far right. Terry Greer's old record of a little over 2,000 yards will be shattered. Touchdowns could be shattered. Well, that's a dream year for him.
Here comes Ryan Benjamin trying to get the Pirates some decent field position. Not bad. He's head across the 35 to the 37. Tackled by Douglas Kraft, number 3.
27 yards on the kickoff return.
And Michael Johnson needs to turn his fortunes around and get a couple of receivers to maybe hang on to one of these.
Yeah, that sure would help. You know, they can't worry that they're down by 14 points. To them at this point, it's immaterial. They need to get some first downs. They haven't had much. They haven't had a completion, as you can see. So they've got to just try and make some first downs. Stop the bleeding.
From the 37, first and 10 Pirates. Johnson looks to the near side. Now he's in trouble. Chased by Zizakovic, throwing on the run. And Lucas, the intended receiver, with Kraft over the cover.
Johnson getting away from
Douglas Kraft, and that one hung up a little bit, allowing Kraft to move toward the ball.
With the coverage.
You know, Doug Kraft came under some criticism last week for, you know, his coverage on Earl Winfield, who caught 6 balls for 122 yards and a touchdown. But, hey, Earl Winfield's done that to a lot of guys over his career. All I can tell you is at a key point late in the game, who made the big interception to allow Calgary a chance to win it? Number 3, Douglas Kraft. This guy can play.
And don't take anything away from the Tiger Cats. They had a solid game last week. Played very well.
Hey, they've had 3 solid weeks and only come out with 1 win. This team's on the upswing.
They were due. Here's Johnson, and this one is Lucas. He makes the catch, and that's the first reception of the night in front of Kraft. First down, first catch. 13 yards the game.
Yeah, John, this is the pattern I said earlier that they run the best. It's the curl pattern. Now he's working on Kraft. Kraft's giving him lots of room. Why not? You got a 14-point lead. But Lucas, both these wide receivers technically are pretty darn good at running their hooks. And, of course, every once in a while, they'll try and sneak one in behind you.
Wayne Walker on one side, David Lucas on the other, both with CFL experience with previous teams. This is Ryan Benjamin, and there's not much running room for Benjamin this time. Averaging 6.9 yards a carry. Will Johnson made the stop.
Kenny Walker, number 99, with the first contact.
Well, Johnson, you know, you talk about who's having great years. Well, there you see the number 17. He had 12 a year ago, so he's raised the level of his game. And, you know, you measure what does a guy do over his career? 79 sacks in 94 games. That's production.
It doesn't get much better than that, does it?
This guy is good.
2nd and 10. Pirates at the 50. Johnson stands in. Looks to the far side. Lucas, the intended receiver, and again, it's Douglas Kraft. Covering on the out pattern.
You know, John, I talked about Douglas Kraft a few plays ago. You saw him play pretty soft on the hook. Now it's 2nd and 10. Here's Kraft at the top. Watch when he gets into his back pedal and the feet start to shuffle down. Boom, he's right there with the solid coverage. I mean, this guy knows situations. He knows when he's in the zone. Nobody can get behind him. When he's man-to-man like he is right here, hey, he reads the pattern perfectly. There's no way they're going to complete that ball.
Another 3rd down punting situation. And this is Pee Wee Smith looking for room to his right. Grabbed from behind on a good tackle. Hang on. Osborne made the tackle, and there's a penalty down. Penalty flag down as Smith pounds the ball into the turf. Calgary out in front of the Pirates. It is 15-1 as we head toward halftime with 10:26 to go in the 2nd quarter.
When I spent the week in Las Vegas, went to see the I game with Vegas and Phoenix Roadrunners. So I got a little hockey fix last week.
Let's
Doug Flutie has a couple of touchdown tosses already, 7 of 13. 95 yards, one short drive, and one a little bit longer than that. 2 touchdowns.
So some people may wonder, why is he playing with that sprained arch in his foot that is still pretty painful? And the reason is he can't hurt it anymore. And the healing process is going to be slow at best, even if he wasn't playing. So there's no fear of making it worse, and that's the reason why he continues to start game after game with that injury problem.
And Doug Flutie has the football again. 1st and 10 Stampeders. Beginning at the Calgary 49. 6 receivers set. Flutie looks over the middle. Alan Pitts makes the catch. And there's nowhere to go after making it. Antoine Worthman, number 25, had Pitts wrapped up immediately.
Well, what you're trying to do here is play action and allow Pitts a lot of field to work in. You're hoping to freeze linebackers, but Worthman, that's pretty solid coverage there. I mean, Pitts makes the catch, but Worthman is right there to limit it to a pretty small gain. But the scheme was freeze those linebackers so Pitts has lots of room to work over the middle.
Only 4 yards for Pitts, making this 2nd and 6. Stampeders out at the 53. Flutie over the middle, on target again. Danielson has his first catch. Stopped by Joe Fuller, number 24. That's Vince Danielson. 13 catches on the season for Danielson now. That's a first down Stampeders.
Well, Vince Danielson's done a nice job filling in for Dave Sapunges. There he finds the open hole. The key is he settles down. He doesn't run through it. He gets in the open area and becomes an easy target for Doug Flutie to find.
Danielson, a rookie out of UBC. Great hands. And is going to be a fine CFL player. This is Will Moore. There are receivers everywhere as far as the Stampeders are concerned. They've got a great group. 8 yards for Moore. Stopped by Baskerville. That's Cliff Baskerville, number 8. Moore has the first touchdown of this game. 9 on the season now, so add 1 to that total.
That's a nice ratio he's got going. 35 catches, 9 touchdowns. All the Calgary receivers have good ratios like that, John.
Stewart is over 1,000 yards on his season. They're making the official announcement here. Running game, a very welcome addition to the Stampeders offense this year is Flutie. Fired low, but Pitts made the catch anyway. Corus Irvin covering on Pitts that time. He grabbed 6 yards.
Well, see, Irvin so far to the inside. This is almost impossible if Pitts is going to run the out. They have that uncanny ability to see where defensive backs are positioned. And I honestly think it's an option route. If Irvin was on the outside, he'd hook. When he's on the inside, Pitts just goes to the out. And he and Flutie have such a good chemistry that they can just do that on the run.
2nd and 4 for the Stampeders now at the Shreveport 23. Little play action fake, and Pitts couldn't make the catch that time. Again, it was Corus Irvin, number 14, covering on Alan Pitts.
Yeah, maybe that's the only way you slow him down a little bit is when he drops one, because that was a pretty well thrown football.
So on 3rd down, the Stampeders send out the kicking team. McLaughlin had a little difficulty with his last field goal attempt. .7:16 till halftime with the Stampeders in front by 14. Flutie will spot this one at the 30.
Mr. 86%. It gets a little better.
He's good on his 2nd try tonight. Hitting on 50% here. Not much to worry about for the Stampeders right now. In complete control with an 18-1 2nd quarter lead. Stampeders now with a 17-point lead. Forrest Gregg with a record of 1-14 is the head coach of the Shreveport Pirates. former Argo head coach way back in 1979. Gord?
Here's something different. Stampeder defensive players complaining about playing too well. They're saying all this 2-and-out business, we're not getting warmed up, haven't broken a sweat yet, and they're getting cold on the sideline. So they might like to see a little longer drive by the Pirates here.
Well, they can arrange that if they really want to, you know.
Pirates are first and 10 at their own 35.
From the 35, Mike Johnson. Time to throw far side, second completion. David Lucas again. 7 yards for Lucas, forced out by Douglas Kraft, number 3.
John, you know, there's a lot of good middle linebackers in the league, but I don't think there's any better at this point in time than number 91, Big Daddy Marvin Pope. Those are his numbers, 7 sacks this year, only 1 a year ago. So we talk about guys that have improved their game. Marvin Pope is one of them, and he has taken a great game to even a higher level.
Second and 3 from the 42.
6:32 till halftime. Pirates on 2nd and 3. Ryan Benjamin has the first down. And again, it's Marvin Pope, number 91, on the tackle after a 5-yard gain. So you're a voter in Calgary, and you got to pick the top defensive player. Is it Marvin Pope, number 91, Alondra Johnson, 51, or Will Johnson, 81?
Well, it might be this guy right here. See how he takes on the block of 65 John Hendrick and just like a little mosquito, and goes out and slides out, makes the tackle. Hey, that's a tough one, John. You bring up a good point. Greg Knox has had a good year. Will Johnson's had a great year. AJ, Alondra Johnson, that's a tough decision.
On first down, this is Mike Johnson. Receiver open, catch can't be made. Lloyd Hill, number 84, 6th receiver in the scheme. And there's a marker down, or is it just a player down?
John, you know, here's Junior Thurman. This is the beauty of the zone defense. Watch him come back. Watch him come back. Just slide in there. He's reading into the backfield, and as they try and hit into this area, he just leaves his man, slides in there, not only makes a heck of a hit, knocks the ball away, but this is the beauty of the zone. When you get that deep back pedal, now you're seeing the pattern develop. You're seeing the whole field. Watch him react. Hey, looks open. Junior Thurman right there, the big knock. Had a little help from Greg Knox over the top. There it is. It's the hit that knocks the ball loose. That's the beauty of the zone. Sit back and read everything.
On 2nd and 10, safety blitz coming as Johnson went long, and too long for Lloyd Hill, number 84.
For Lloyd Hill, number 84, out of his reach, incomplete.
Those are low percentage passes against this Calgary secondary. I mean, you saw that zone, and that's a tough zone to beat deep. And you know, I think Michael Johnson, he's got to go back to something intermediate or short and involve his running backs. I don't think he's thrown one ball yet to Ryan Benjamin, and he's a heck of a receiver out of the backfield. They got to change their plan in a hurry.
Canner averaging 47 yards a punt, standing back at his 32-yard line. Across the 35 to get this one away. Low kick, and Wiggins ready to return. And a great start to the ball game. Brian Wiggins with a return all the way down to the Shreveport 20. 13 yards there.
12 yards for Wiggins.
Wiggins set up the first Stampeder touchdown. $11 of 18. A couple of touchdowns for Flutie. He's now hit on 40 touchdown passes so far in 94. .459 to the half, and the Stampeders are 1st and 10. Just inside their 40-yard line at the 39. Flutie flares it out for Stewart. And Stewart was surrounded. There was nowhere to go as Irvin moved up to force him out, number 14. A little early movement there offside is the initial indication against Shreveport.
Too many men.
Nope.
Shreveport defense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
John, I don't blame them for trying to sneak an extra guy out there.
Yeah, well, yeah. May need it.
And the back was
Stampeders have 10 first downs more than the Pirates. Flutie shotgun, first down. Pitts. And he's close to a first down. Again, Corus Irvin covering on Alan Pitts.
And this is a great scheme to give Alan Pitts all kinds of room on the field. Here, he's the number 3 receiver right here. Here's Irvin. I mean, you know, when you take Pitts and bring him out here, that's a heck of a long way for Irvin to have to go and try and cover him man-to-man. And, you know, Shreveport loves to play man-to-man defense, but you're asking a defensive back to do a lot of covering there.
The Pirates a man short and just got the 12th man on the field as Tony Stewart got the call. Lost ball, and the Stampeders appear to have regained it.
Tony Stewart.
Second fumble of the game for Stewart. He lost the first one. It looks like Calgary got this one back.
John, just to go back to that thought on Alan Pitts there, I mean, you'll see, actually, we'll catch the fumble here. Tony Stewart, God, I've really jinxed him tonight because I said he hasn't put it on the ground, and here's 2 tonight already. They've lost 1, but they were able to retain possession there. But go back to, you know, Alan Pitts. You give, it's all formations and schemes to create opportunities for your receivers. When he's the 3rd receiver in, I mean, that's a lot of field, and he's dangerous.
Stampeders gambling here on 3rd and 2, and there's early movements. Greg Stuman, number 95, burst through and actually ran into the Stampeder quarterback.
I love it when both sides are pointing.
Yeah.
Don't
is
you?
It procedure or is it offside here?
No, but all the Shreveport guys are saying they're clapping their hands. The Calgary guys are clapping their hands. And the only guy that knows the true story is Dave Ewell.
Calgary number 20. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, Greg Stuman, you know, he's playing middle linebacker, was playing the rush end. He's moved into the middle. Well, here he is, you know, and he's anticipating. He's trying to guess the snap count. Hey, simple. He guesses wrong, and I wouldn't do that to Mr. Flutie too many times. You're going to have some of those big offensive linemen getting in a serious chat with you in a hurry.
Tony Martino, number 11, is in punt formation.
That's a big transformation. You know, 1 week or most of the season you're a rush end, and now all of a sudden you go back into the middle, and that's a tough thing to do.
On 3rd and 7, the Stampeders decide to kick it. And a fine kick by McLaughlin. It didn't look very stylish, but it rolls out inside the 15. No return for the Pirates. 3:17 to go.
I think he had thoughts for just a brief second that he might catch them sleeping.
He moved out of the pocket and slid over to his right a little bit, kind of kicked out on the run.
Well, you talk about that. In the Grey Cup in 1976, when I played with Saskatchewan, when we played Ottawa, the killer play in that game was Jerry Organ punting, and he just waited. Our guys were all peeling back for a return. He followed them all the way down the field and ran for about 60 yards. So every once in a while, those punters will sneak up and grab you.
1st and 10. Pirates at the Shreveport 13. Shreveport trailing 18-1. Johnson trying to find a receiver. Got away from the rush. Now has a man open, and it's Gerald Vaughn got a hand on the football. Solid play by Gerald Vaughn. The intended receiver was Terry Smith, and he had an open area, but Vaughn came up and made a great defensive play.
And I think Mike Johnson just showed you why the coaches are so excited about him. I mean, he really does a great job to buy himself some extra time. I mean, he keeps those feet moving, and that's the key for quarterback. Once you stop your feet, you're in trouble. And when you talk about team speed on defense, Calgary, how about Gerald Vaughn? I mean, he's kind of out of this, and at the last second, he comes from nowhere to deny the catch by 88 Terry Smith.
3-minute warning at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Stampeders lead the Shreveport Pirates 18-1. Here with CFL Live on TSN. Back live at McMahon as we count down the final 2:50 to halftime. Stampeders scored on their first possession. They've added 1 touchdown and a field goal since, plus a single, for an 18-1 lead on the Shreveport Pirates. Pirates have started deep in Shreveport territory most of the evening, beginning this drive at the 13. Shotgun on 2nd and 10. The catch is made. It'll be a 1st down Dave Lucas brings it down, number 82. And Greg Knox made the tackle after a 16-yard gain. Pretty good hit by Knox.
Yeah, it really was. He can cover a lot of territory. He's really learned the position well. He apprenticed under Greg Peterson here, and then when Greg retired, he took over. And, you know, he too is another Calgary defensive guy that's elevated his game. 6 interceptions, couple of sacks, and he's just been able to get better and better each game.
Out at the 27-yard line, the Pirates are 1st and 10. Johnson has to get out of the pocket again, throwing on the run, and missed the receiver, Terry Smith, near side this time.
Terry Smith, number 88. He hit the turn.
You know, this should be Mike Johnson's strength, is rolling to his left as a left-handed quarterback. We haven't mentioned that too much. Some of the problems it might pose for his own receivers, different spin on the ball and different look. But, hey, this is his strong side. I mean, he should be able to really fire this ball, but this is probably the poorest throw he's made tonight. He just fires it into the ground. The wind's in his face, but it shouldn't affect it that much.
Nice lids on a couple of Stampeder fans. 2:12 till halftime. This is 2nd and 10. Shreveport. Johnson stands in and fired that one right into the hands of Kenton Leonard. Leonard couldn't squeeze it. There's a marker down.
Kenton Leonard, number 30, had the shot at the interception.
Ken Leonard only 1 interception on the season.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Calgary 37. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Matt Finley takes the penalty here. Oh, Kenton should have had it.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered.
Wouldn't have mattered.
I agree with you.
But he wouldn't have been embarrassed, at least. Pirates are 1st and 10 at the 39. 2:07 till the half. Stampeders in an 18-1 lead. Storyline tonight brought to you by Chrysler Canada Flutie, 138s and a couple of touchdowns. And Stewart is over 1,000 with 1,004 yards on the season as a result of his play tonight.
I don't know if we mentioned it was 1986 the last time that a Calgary Stampeder running back went over 1,000 yards. It was Gary Allen. He was a solid back before that. James Sykes did it 3 times in a row, but that's a long time to go without a 1,000-yard rusher, and I think that was the one missing link that they've been able to really shore up in this Calgary offense.
2:07 till halftime. 1st and 10 for the Pirates as Johnson stands in and fires just off target. He looked for Hill that time. Lloyd Hill, number 84, couldn't bring it down. 2nd and 10.
But Johnson's starting to get a little jumpy. You know, the pressure's been coming, but that's the zone defense. I mean, you know, you say, hey, he should have completed that, but he had to throw it up over the top of Gerald Vaughn, who's 6'3". So, yeah, it looks on TV like he should be completing it, but that was a tough throw.
2nd down, Pirates. Flag is down now. And Smith makes the catch. It'll be a 1st down, Pirates, depending on the penalty call. Johnson was right on the money for Terry Smith. 20-yard gain. Early indication would be that the Stampeders might have been offside.
Offside. Calgary 81. Penalties declined. 1st down.
Will Johnson got an early start.
Yeah, look, you know, you talk about zone defenses. I mean, here's the hole right here. He just fits right into this little spot, and boom.
Now at the Stampeder 51, Johnson stands in and throws. Thompson makes the catch. Charles Thompson short of the 1st down, but he has 5. It was Gerald Vaughn making the tackle, number 38.
First time they've gone to Charles Thompson tonight. The guys are starting to make some catches for Mike Johnson. All of a sudden, they're hanging on. Terry Smith made a nice catch over the middle, took the hit. Again, Charles Thompson takes the catch, takes the hit. First time they've had a consistent drive going.
Yeah, there's the 8th play of the drive. Out pattern far side, and Thompson was the intended receiver. Another penalty marker. Penalty indicated is against Shreveport for a holding. Stay with us at halftime. For Gord Miller, we'll have a sports break, then the CFL Live halftime report and the story of the half. So it'll be 3rd and 5, and this drive will end out around midfield. Now Greg's decided that he might as well go for it at this stage of things. 3rd and 5 at the 46.
3rd down and 5 for the Pirates.
1:19 to go. Big sequence for Shreveport here. Johnson has it run, throwing on the run, looking deep into double coverage. And it's out of bounds, intended for Lloyd Hill, number 84.
One of the problems for Michael Johnson right now with his receiving core and Lloyd Hill, guys like that, is, you know, Calgary's really mixing up their coverages nicely. They're getting a nice mix of zone and man, and what's really happening to these receivers is as they're coming off the line of scrimmage, they're trying to read the coverage so much that they're really not running anymore. When you think you don't run it 100%, and for Michael Johnson, that's tough for him. Nobody's getting open, and he's taking some shots.
1st and 10 for the
Toughest
Stampeders.
thing to do is to run and think at the same time.
So with 1:10, there's a chance for the Stampeders to add to a lead of 18-1. Flutie shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to the near side. He's got Pitts far side. It'll be a Calgary first down. Stopped by Joe Fuller.
That catch puts Alan Pitts up around 80 yards receiving on the evening. He comes into the game needing about 279 to break Terry Greer's record for receiving yards in the season. The Stamps would like to take a shot at getting on the record tonight because Greer did set the record in 16 games. It may happen in the second half.
Into the final minute of the first half now with the Stampeders in front by 17. Calgary set up at the Pirate 45. Flutie stands in. Moore makes the catch, and they're inside the 25. Anthony Shelton, number 23, over to make the stop, but the gain is 24.
Wow, this is why Doug Flutie has to love his receiving core. Hey, Wilmore feels it right now. He knows it's coming, but what he does is take the ball at its furthest point before the hit. He's able to absorb the hit and hang on. Hey, that's a pretty good hit by Anthony Shelton, but even better catch by Wilmore.
31 seconds till halftime. Stampeders 1st and 10 at the Shreveport 22. Flutie all kinds of time, and Pitts has the touchdown. Alan Pitts having a field day with a secondary of Shreveport. That time Joe Fuller was over to cover, but it was too late. Couple of touchdowns for Alan Pitts. 21 yards on this one.
Well, it's no secret. I think Gord made a good point. They want to get that in 16 games, and you know, he gets inside Joe Fuller pretty easily there. For Alan Pitts, the song just keeps playing for him. What a great year. 2 touchdowns now away from that mark sent by Darrell K. Smith.
And closing in on 100 yards. 7 receptions for 90 and 2 touchdowns for Alan Pitts. Stampeders now have a 25-1 lead.
Well, this guy can beat you in so many ways, you know. I mean, I like the idea of coming up to jam on him, let it roll just a little bit and stop it right there. Okay, here's Joe Fuller right up here, and he's going to challenge, but, you know, Pitts is just able to work inside him so easily, and then he becomes a good target. The safety here doesn't get over and help, and you know, makes it pretty easy. But if you don't get the good jam right there, now he just wants to play the chase technique, and that's tough to do. Pitts straightens him up and then breaks it back to the post, and Shelton doesn't get there in time, and Flutie makes it look pretty easy.
7th catch of the game. He has 2 touchdowns and 7 receptions, 90 yards. Coming into the game, 276 yards shy of the all-time yards receiving mark established by Terry Greer. And that mark has stood for a long time, back to 1983.
Yeah, and he establishes a club record with those 18 touchdowns. Terry Evanson had the previous one of 17. So Alan Pitts is going to go into all kinds of record books this year.
Ryan Benjamin returning for the Pirates, and there's not much there. He stopped at the 25. Dondra Owens, number 14, made the tackle.
Kickoff by North McLaughlin. Number 2, Ryan Benjamin, with the return of 15 yards, and he was
solid season for Alan Pitts.
25-yard line. Alondra Johnson, number 51, leads the charge.
Really the only player to challenge Doug Flutie for the most outstanding player in Canadian football this season. And I don't know, it'll be a pretty tough vote in Calgary. Flutie and Pitts for the first round of balloting for the Outstanding Player Awards.
Hey, remember Greg Peterson? I told you Greg Knox took over from him. He's doing local radio, and he gets the definitive from Alan Pitts, how he scored his second touchdown.
18 seconds till halftime. Johnson stands in. Benjamin makes the catch. He'll be just shy of the first down. Matt Finley made the tackle. Now 11 seconds till the half.
One of the problems for Shreveport now is the offense has not been able to function at all, and that defense has had a pretty serious workout in the first half. There it is, 25-1, and Shreveport's defense has been on the field just too many times.
Johnson takes Terry Smith in the out pattern. And now 3 seconds till the half, a 7-yard gain. Calgary Stampeders continue to lead the CFL Western Division standings with a 12-3 record, 2 up on the Eskimos and 3 up on the BC Lions. Saskatchewan moving into 4th spot ahead of Sacramento as a result of a victory over BC last week and Sacramento's loss to these Pirates. Should be the last play of the opening half. Shotgun, Johnson. And that one is batted down right at the line. Zreko Zizakovic got a big mitt on that one and batted it to the turf. So the Stampeders scored on their opening drive after a great kickoff return by Brian Wiggins. Set Calgary up at the 20-yard line. It took a while to get the next couple of touchdowns. But the Stampeders head to the dressing room with a rather comfortable 25-1 lead on the Shreveport Pirates. Stay with us for halftime on CFL Live.
By the score at halftime at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, with the Stampeders out in front of the Pirates 25-1. Doug Flutie fired 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Alan Pitts.
Yeah, it was really a solid half for Alan Pitts. I'm sure they want to get all those records out of the way as quickly as they can, and it took the second quarter. This is his first of 2, and so the victim is number 24, Joe Fuller, both times. A nice move to the inside, back to the outside, shields him, and that's his first touchdown of the night.
And then late in the quarter, the second quarter, Pitts comes back with another one, and here's Flutie right on target again. And again, as you mentioned, it's Fuller victimized.
Yeah, what happens if you don't get help from your middle safety? I mean, it's almost impossible to cover Alan Pitts on the post pattern. Those are his numbers in one half of play. He's well on his way to his 10th 100-yard receiving game of the season. Would be his 32nd of his career. Guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, now here's the question. Can he catch 186 yards worth of passes in the second half to break Terry Greer's record in 16 games?
Well, that's a tall order, but I really wouldn't bet against this guy.
Alan Pitts and Doug Flutie stealing the show at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the Stampeders lead the Pirates 25-1 at the half.
Advil, for today's tough pain, presents Profiles of Courage. September 1986, Edmonton Eskimo James Bell seriously injures his spinal cord trying to make a tackle on BC Lion Yan Karinci. The play resulted in Bell being an incomplete quadriplegic. Always a competitor on the field, Bell became a fighter away from it as well, rigorously rehabilitating himself so he could walk again. And although James Bell never played another down, his spirit and bravery will always live on at Edmonton and throughout the CFL.
All Stampeders in the first half, as you see in the Subway stats. First downs 16-5 Calgary, and net yards 257. And the time of possession 18:33 for the Stampeders, 11:27 for the Pirates. Second half is underway. And this is Ryan Benjamin ready to return for Shreveport out to the 35-yard line, and surrounded by Stampeder sweaters. Dondra Owens leading the way for the Calgary tacklers there. Mike Johnson back into the ball game. 7 of 24 for 77 yards. Had a couple drops.
Yeah, he really did. And for Doug Flutie, pretty solid half. Well, on his way to a 3, possibly 400-yard night if, in fact, he does stay in there. I mean, I know Wally Buono said yesterday what he'd love to do is get a big lead and then give Steve Taylor some playing time and let Doug Flutie have a bit of a rest.
Let's see what the Pirates can do with a first down at the 35. This is Ryan Benjamin for 3 yards, and he's forced back.
Number 2, Ryan Benjamin.
Alondra Johnson was there. Ken Leonard coming up for some support.
And John, I really think to get anything established in the second half, and that's the way Shreveport has to look at this game, they have to use Ryan Benjamin. He's a rookie from Pacific. They've gone through a lot of running backs in Shreveport this year. Remember, they started the year with Gil Fennerty and Reggie Barnes. Reggie Barnes, of course, in Hamilton now, but this guy has to get the football. He's an exciting player, and if they don't use him rather, they're making a mistake.
Benjamin had 4 in the previous play. This is 2nd and 6. Markers are down. Lucas, the intended receiver. Ken Leonard was covering. And it looks like a holding call.
Holding, Shreveport number 68. Penalties declined, 3rd down.
Check the Tropicana at page 41 of your game day.
Second half just nicely underway, and that's Johnson, number 68, taking the penalty. Donnell Johnson. So on 3rd and 6, the Pirates ready to punt. Canner's got a pretty good average going, 45-2 on the night. Pee Wee Smith moves up to make the catch, and he's out to the 45. 7-yard return, 34-yard punt. Doug Flutie leads the Stampeder offense out onto the field. On a bit of a mission, will he try and get his pal? Number 18, Alan Pitts, a CFL record in 16 games. Flutie.
Tell you another thing that Doug Flutie wants to accomplish this year is to get Pee Wee Smith a touchdown. Pee Wee Smith still looking for his first of the year, if you can believe it. And I think if they get down in scoring territory, you're going to see Pee Wee get a football tonight.
Little play action by Flutie. Wiggins turned, and the pass was off target.
There's Demetrius. Pee Wee Smith only caught 39 balls this year and still looking for his first touchdown. And you look at his career. Here's Pitts. Every 8 times Pitts catches a ball, he scores a touchdown. For poor old Pee Wee, it's 1 in every 24. So a little discrepancy in the production between these two guys, but he gives them a whole lot on special teams with his great kick returns too.
Stampeders 2nd and 10 from the 44. Calgary leading 25-1. Flutie in a deep drop near side. Alan Pitts makes the catch and has yards to spare here. Alan Pitts with a big run as he gets all the way down to the 35. Stop by Corus Irvin. 30 yards for Alan Pitts.
Yeah, and the beat goes on for Alan Pitts. I mean, he is tough. I mean, if you're Joe Fuller, hey, you want to go home right about now because you've been beaten for 2 touchdowns. You're being run ragged out there. Pitts is doing anything he wants. And, heck, I think 186.5 is a tall order, but the way they're going, I wouldn't count them out.
Down to 156 necessary now. 8 receptions, 120 yards for number 18, Alan Pitts. Stampeders with a first down. Sean Daniels, number 35, has 3. Ben Williams, 64, there to make the stop on Daniels. 18 games with Ottawa in 93, from Saskatchewan in 94, Sean Daniels. First opportunity to start for the Stampeders. He's been in town about 3 weeks. Flutie looking at 2nd and 7. Near side, Alan Pitts again. He's inside the 25. And again, Corus Irvin is called on to cover on number 18.
Yeah, this is a cover 2 defense, what they call with the extra nickel back in there. There you see a good look at Pitts coming right at you. Now 24 Fuller is free and behind that to pick him up deep, but the perfect call is to run the out pattern. And you know, you have to appreciate what Doug Flutie and Alan Pitts do. I mean, here's Pitts right here. The halfback is free in zone. This is the cover guy. The perfect place to attack is to run the out. It's exactly what they do. When they have this kind of a defense, short side of the field, this is exactly the spot you have it. Wiggins clears out, and Pitts has all kinds of room.
This is coming back, though. Bruce Covington has been called for unnecessary roughness, so the Stampeders are forced back near the 47-yard line.
Still, the point is, that's how you attack that defense. And Calgary's receivers and Doug Flutie recognize these things so quickly. That's why they're so dangerous.
Flutie is looking at 2nd and 22 from the shotgun. 3 receivers far side. Flutie all kinds of time. Looks deep. Pee Wee Smith has it. First touchdown of the year for Pee Wee Smith. At least receiving touchdown. Took a punt return back early in the season, but now he has his first touchdown reception of 94.
Yeah, it took a while, and there it is. Look at the hug. Hey, you gotta love it. Doug Flutie told me tonight before the game, he says, I am going to get Pee Wee his first of the year. And watch his teammates. They love this guy. Now, he's put both backs to the left side, and then there's a lot of room backside and not enough people to cover. Corus Irvin having all kinds of trouble. Pee Wee Smith, the middle safety's gone, and hey, you got to love to see him get his first, don't you?
Stampeders are enjoying it. And quickly the Stampeders score to start the second half.
Calgary Stampeders 32 and the Shreveport Pirates 1.
Pee Wee Smith into the end zone. Made it look easy as the Stampeders move out in front of the Pirates. It's 32-1. This is CFL Live from Calgary. One more touchdown. Celebrating with Brian Wiggins, who got the first Stampeder touchdown of the night. Calgary in front 32-1. Lucas out across the 30, 35, and dropped at the 41-yard line.
John, let's go back to that touchdown of Pee Wee Smith, and it's a formation that really dictates this. How about this? Fullback, running back, Stewart out here. Okay, let it go. Now you've got 6 guys spread out all over the field. You don't think that opens up some big lanes to throw in? Okay, now, stop it right here. Here's old Demetrius right up there. Look at this. By spreading 6 guys across the field, they got the desired result. And Flutie told me that's how he was going to get Pee Wee a touchdown tonight. Worked to perfection.
He had an acre of space back there, didn't he?
You know what it is? It's all formations dictating to the defense. That's how an offense functions at the highest level.
Pirates at the 41. Johnson to the near side, and this one is almost picked off. Douglas Kraft had the opportunity. And Johnson a little upset with his receiver, I do believe. Lloyd Hill looked to be the closest Pirate to the football.
Well, you have to worry about the intensity of Shreveport now in the third quarter. 32-1. Hey, are you going to fold your tent and go home, or are you going to play hard? And we'll see how this second half materializes, because it's a pretty easy spot to kind of lie down.
I'd agree with that. 2nd and 10. Pirates 41-yard line. Shotgun for Johnson. And he's hit as he throws, and Kraft had another opportunity. David Lucas, the intended receiver that time, and Johnson ends up on the turf.
And Douglas Kraft could have had about 3 interceptions tonight if he'd been able to hang on to the football. Watch the pressure coming as Michael Johnson tries to step up into the pocket. Alondra Johnson, for at least the 3rd time tonight, goes helmet to helmet with the quarterback, and I know who's going to win those battles most of the time.
That was Johnson and Johnson on top of Johnson.
Hey, this guy was so quick. He used to return kicks in high school. I mean, hey, he's not a small guy either. He's, you know, about 5'11", 225, 230. Used to return kicks.
High kick this time, and here's Pee Wee Smith. Makes the catch sliding and gets up to try and grab a couple of yards.
Pee Wee has the adrenaline going after that touchdown catch. He came up, slid, didn't let that punt bounce.
3 yards on the kick for number 3, Aaron Tanner.
36-yard punt. Very little return for Pee Wee, but he's still celebrating the touchdown he got moments ago.
Well, you know, his teammates, look at that. I mean, they're still giving him the high fives and the pats on the back. They love this guy, and, you know, they all want to see him do well.
From the 37-yard line, 1st and 10, Stampeders.
At their own 37.
9:31 to go, third quarter. Sean Daniels gets the call, and he's grabbed from behind by number 46, Eldonta Osborne. 4-yard gain.
Brought down by number 46.
Stampeders looking to record their 13th win of the season. This will be 2nd and 6. Stampeders out across the 40 at the 41. For Daniels, and he couldn't make the catch. Flutie was just a little off the target that time.
I think Doug Flutie's thinking, hey, if this guy is going to be a performer for us heading into the playoffs, we're going to work him into the offense. The fullback in Calgary's offense doesn't get to do a whole lot. I mean, you look at Blair Zur in 15 games that he started, he only handled the ball 16 times. So Sean Daniels is not going to factor in carrying it or catching it. But what they want to do is try and make him feel part of the team. He's just come over here from Saskatchewan, and I'm sure that's why Flutie threw one his way.
Martino just got it away. Terry Smith back near the 25. And again, he's surrounded by red shirts. Zur was there, number 36, to finally corral him after a 3-yard return, 44-yard punts. And Mike Johnson heads back onto the field. It's already been a long night. Check on the injured player when we return. That's Alex Mash. And this is CFL Live on Calgary. Pirate being attended to back near the 30-yard line is Alex Mash. Starter at left defensive end. He's up now.
John, you know, one thing I did this week was watch a lot of film on Shreveport, and I watched some with head coach Wally Buono yesterday, and the Shreveport offense gave his defensive people some really distinct keys. Here's the left tackle, Donnell Johnson. See his back, nice and straight, weight really heavy on his front hand. Let it run. Hey, this is a running play. He tips it off to the defense. It's just a still shot. Now, let's go to the next one when he's going to pass block. Hey, the back is up like this, no hands on the ground, and hey, this tackle and the tackle on the other side, Fred Childress, they give you distinct looks. So if you're Marvin Pope, if you're Alondra Johnson, you can tell pretty much every time what Shreveport's going to do by the alignment of their tackle. There he is at the top of the screen, 68. You watch him and figure out what he's going to do.
1st and 10, Pirates at the 28. Witherspoon gets his first carry of the game. That's Derek Witherspoon, number 22, and it was telegraphed there, wasn't it?
Well, John, you know, if the people at home were watching along with us, Donnell Johnson on that last play, hey, the hand was down nice and heavy on that big hand. And let's go back and look here. There he is. The back is straight, the hand's down. Hey, it's no mystery what he's going to do. So if you're a defensive lineman or you're the Pope or Finley or A.J. Johnson, boy, you get a real quick key on what they're going to do on offense. It makes defense a little bit easier, but that's what defenses do. They're always looking for the key. What do you think he's going to do now?
I think this might be a passing.
Sure.
Here's Johnson. Hadnot makes the catch, and he's out across the 40. First down, Shreveport. Good solid hit down there near the 45. By Alondra Johnson, number 51.
Now, John, let's talk about Calgary's defense. They're ranked 2 in the league, and it's not done by mystery. It's done by film study, work, getting tendencies, and you see Johnson on Johnson, Will against Donnell. But, I mean, Will knew at the snap of the ball what the play was going to be, so that means he can come a little bit harder. He doesn't have to worry about trap blocks. Hey, you know, when you can play like that and get a jump on your opponent, no wonder you're good.
18-yard gain sets the Pirates up at the 45 of the first down, and Ryan Benjamin can't find much running room initially, but broke through somehow. Slowed down by Knox, and then Gerald Vaughn got over to make the tackle, 9 yards.
Okay, this is the last play again. John, I think you can figure this one out. Look at the hand down here, the heavy hand right down there. The back is straight. Hey, he's not going to pass block. Let her go. No way he can pass block. That's 320 pounds on your front hand. You can't get back. That's a run block. Everybody knew it.
Ryan Benjamin has 7 carries, 30 yards on the night. 2nd and 1, and here's Benjamin again, caught in the backfield. He escaped and gets the first down. Another solid run by Benjamin. Got away from a couple of Stampeders. Ken Leonard slowed him down, number 30.
You know, you take this to another level when you're looking at keys. You know, when I was a receiver in the league, we'd watch film. I'd watch defensive backs, just their alignment. You know, sometimes if a guy was going to cover me man-to-man, he was always facing me square on. If he was in a zone, he'd turn inside just a touch. And more often than not, you got those little keys. And boy, does it ever help when you're preparing for a team to figure out stuff that they're going to do before the ball snap.
Benjamin again.
Ryan Benjamin, number 2.
On 1st and 10, he only has about a yard. Marvin Pope, the big daddy of the Stampeders defense. Tough to run against. 5:28 remaining, 3rd quarter, with the Stampeders in front 32-1 on the Shreveport Pirates. This will be 2nd and 9.
Calgary's in their nickel package now on 2nd and long.
Johnson escapes. There's room to the far side. Can he make the first down? He does. Mike Johnson.
Gets out of bounds.
9 yards for Johnson, just what he needed.
Often when Calgary goes into this nickel package, they call it their pressure package too. Marvin Pope lines up as a defensive end, and you know, although he gets cut down initially, look how fast he's back up and running, and Michael Johnson comes up pretty close. But that's a tough thing about Calgary. They give you so many different looks. Hey, he's the middle linebacker, and all of a sudden he's playing defensive end when they go into that 6 defensive back scheme.
They'll measure to see if Johnson did in fact have enough yardage for the first down. Stampeders looking to win tonight and win one more to clinch top spot in the CFL's Western Division. And looking for their 22nd straight win during the regular season on home turf.
Coming up just short of the first down.
Well, that's the last time they lost at home. My, oh my, it seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? 1992.
There was one loss to those guys in green and gold, though, that is well remembered.
Yeah.
Last year in the Western Final, and that's really what this season is all about for the Stampeders and their fans.
Quarterback keeper.
Getting an opportunity to get back to the Grey Cup. Pirates able to convert and get the first down. Johnson.
John, what do you think these fans are going to be thinking if it comes down to a Western Final, Calgary and whoever, and it's a cold, rotten day wherever they're playing?
They're going to be worried, Leif. There's no doubt about that. They'll be concerned after last year, and the Stampeders do have a little something to prove. They have to play a little cold weather football, likely, to win 2 games in the playoffs and get to the Grey Cup.
Competition. His crowning achievement brought him a divisional championship. He followed his father, Baltic Speed, who also had a Breeders' Crown to his credit.